Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone that follows the word of all, welcome to the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on the 146895 repeater. I am Kilo Echo 8, Papa Victor Lima, your net control for the evening. My name is Nemo, November Echo Mike Oscar, and I am located in Denmark Township. Before I go any further, is there anyone that needs this repeater for emergency or priority traffic? All right, nothing heard. If anybody does need the repeater for emergency or priority traffic, please break in at any time with break and your call sign. We will concede the repeater for the duration of your emergency. Again, this is the Wednesday Night Joke Net here on the 146895 repeater. This is a directed net and all traffic should go through net control. Everyone with a valid amateur radio license is encouraged to participate. This net meets every Wednesday night on this repeater. The purpose of this night is to have fun making each other laugh, coming up with crazy punchlines for this week's joke. This is a 3-round net, so please stick around or you may miss something. Before I go down the list of regular check-ins, let me just say this repeater is owned and operated by Tom, NHCT, and is available for public use. Tom, we hope you're doing much better. We know you were in the hospital recently, and hopefully everything's going good with you and you're getting better. You can get to this repeater via Echolink, and the Echolink node for that is W8IJC-L. Please treat the repeater like it's got a 2-minute timeout and allow for clean breaks between transmissions, and I would be remiss without saying it has a negative offset or a standard offset and a PL tone of 141.3. Let me take a quick break for time and we'll go down the list and see who all's here tonight. All right, we'll go right to the top of the list here. We'll start with Sunny, KD8LHR. Are you with us this evening? All right, highly unlike him not to check in. Maybe, I know he's not at work, I don't think. Maybe he did go to work tonight, I'm not sure. All right, we'll keep going down the list. Maybe he'll check in a little later. We'll try Jeff, KC8LAR.
KC8LAR, we're here. And I think Sonny was working earlier today.
Yeah, roger that. I thought he was on the day shift today. Maybe he had to go in late. All right, next on the list, we've got Chris, KE8YQL. All right, nothing heard there. I know he said he'd be here tonight. How about Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet? Wayne, always a pleasure to have you with us tonight, man, and I appreciate you being here. Next on the list, we've got Dan, N8DRL.
N8DRL, we're here.
All right, Dan, good to have you in here. Next on the list, we've got Ron, KC8RJO. All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully he's doing okay. Somebody might want to send him a message. Make sure he's all right. Next on the list, we've got Jim, KE8LFR.
KE8LFR, present.
All right, Jim, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule and being here with us tonight. Appreciate you. Let's try Doug, KE8TBX.
KE8TBX, present, but I'm barely hearing you.
All right, I can't turn the power up anymore. I don't have the ability to do that. I'm probably as into the repeater as I can. That goes. I'll choke up on the mic a little bit more, and hopefully that'll help you out. All right, next on the list, we've got Drew, Alpha 8, Delta Lima. All right, nothing heard there. Hopefully we'll get him in a little later on. All right, we'll go down the list here to Jerry, N3, EVT.
Net control.
All right, Jerry, thank you for being here with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Let's try KE8 DNF. Joe, are you with us tonight? All right, nothing heard there. That's okay. Hopefully he'll join us a little later, and if not, well, we'll just keep on going down the road. Next on the list, we've got Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO.
Hi, it's Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO, and you're coming in really strong for me. Back to net.
All right, well, thank you for the signal report there, Ruth Ann. And if nobody's talked to you yet, stick around after net. I got a few minutes with you, if you don't mind. All right, we'll keep going down the list here. KE8ZHH, Frank the Weatherman.
I'm here. Back to net.
All right, Frank, thanks for being here tonight. Let's reach out to Andrew, W8IJC. Okay, well, hopefully he'll join us too. That wraps up the list as I have it. Is there anybody I skipped over or anybody that wants to check in? Please call KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. All right, nothing heard. That'll put us, that'll lock it in. I'll lock this list in as I have it. Very good. Let's put our thinking caps on our funny bones. We'll get right into this week's joke. All right, and this week's joke is, what kind of candy do astronauts like? What kind of candy do astronauts like? What's their favorite candy? We'll just put Jeff on the hot spot tonight, put him right at the top of the list since that's where he's at. KC8 LAR, what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
That's a good question. Astronaut's favorite candy. Well, you know, if I were an astronaut, well, let's just say Pop Rocks. We'll go with that. I like Pop Rocks too. KC8LAR, back to net control.
All right, Pop Rocks. I used to love those a lot as a kid, man. Those things were great. All right, next on the list, we've got Wayne, AC8YJ. What's an astronaut's favorite candy?
I'd have to say Mars bars.
All right, I got one for Mars bars. Very good. I like that one too. That's also a good candy bar. Good survival food, Mars bars is. They're right up on the top 5 of candy bars that you want to keep in your go bag. All right, next on the list is Dan, N8DRL, and what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Starburst and N8DRL.
All right, Starburst. That's one I didn't even think of. There was a whole bunch in my head there. All right, we'll go down the list here. Jim, KE8LFR, good to have you with us tonight. And what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
Well, the actual factual answer, all joking aside, is M&M's. Back to net.
All right, we've got one for M&M's. Very good. Looks like we're going to have a variety of answers this evening. Doug, KE8TBX, I hope you're copying me okay. And what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
Astronaut's favorite candy would be a moon pie. Back to that.
All right, a moon pie. I made this one too easy. I'm getting slaughtered tonight here. No, not a single stumper. Next on the list is N3 EVT Jerry. Great to have you with us tonight, man. And what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
I want to stay in the galaxy, and I'll say Milky Way.
A Milky Way. All right. I like that one too. You know, I should have thought about this, that I was going to get slammed like this tonight. All right. But we've got to be running out of candy bars here in a minute. Ruth Ann, KE8ZVO, what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
Well, I like a lot of the answers, but I'm going to say the flying saucer, like wafers that used to have little balls inside. KE8ZVO.
Oh, roger that. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember what they were actually called, but I remember seeing them. But I'll put you down for that. I'll make sure we get that in there for you. All right, next on the list is Frank the Weatherman. Thanks for being here tonight. And KE8ZHH, what's an astronaut's favorite candy?
K8VHH. Well, everybody said the ones I was going to say. And I'm going to pick my favorite candy bar out of the ones everybody said. It's probably the Milky Way. Back to net.
All right, a Milky Way. We got 2 for that one. And that puts me at the bottom of the list. Before I get into the actual answer, which, man, I didn't get a single stumper tonight. I usually get at least one. You guys got me beat. Before I get into the actual answer, is there anybody else that wants to check into the Wednesday Night Joke Net? Please call. All right, nothing heard. Man, all of them were great answers. I should have put a little more thought into this one, but tonight's joke, what's an astronaut's favorite candy? I had Mars bar, and that would be Wayne's answer. But man, all those other answers are great. Too many good ones to count. Everybody gets a point tonight. All right, let me take a quick break. I'm going to get into some announcements. We've got quite a few to go over, and then I'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, so some of the big ones. This is the announcement I think everybody's been waiting for. Drum roll, please. I don't have a drum roll here, but imaginary drum roll. 2024, the Hamfest, Ashtabula County Hamfest 2024, July 20th. That's a Saturday. We're on. Everything's all set and ready to go. We're putting a full swing motion type stuff in there, and looking forward to that. It will be at the Pioneer Picnic Campground area where we've been having it for the last couple of years. And, man, we've been having a great time. So feel free to pass that information around and let everybody know it's going to be happening. That's July 20th. And time frame will be usual. It'll be, the 8 or 9 to 2 or whatever time frame that was. I gotta look that up again, make sure that we're still on the same thing. But we've got a lot of good stuff planned for this year, so hopefully we'll see a lot of folks. It's been growing every year. I know it is only the 3rd one, but I've already got a bunch of people asking me about it, so it is going forward. So just let everybody know. All right, next announcement I have is every Monday night at 8 p.m. on the 146715 repeater is the Ashtabula County Areas Training Net. There's a good group of folks that check in over on that net every week. Please consider checking in over there and giving emergency services a hand. That repeater does have a standard negative offset and a PL tone of 141.3. Also, every morning over on the 146940 repeater, that repeater has a trivia net every morning. Great net over there. Lots of good folks. Key up over there, learn something, have a good time. They also have a standard offset and a PL tone of 110.9. Also, Andover Volunteer Fire Department is having their pancake breakfast coming up here on March 23rd and on March 30th. 2024 from 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a nice long time to go sit down, eat some pancakes, enjoy some time down there in Andover. Maybe I believe that's a Saturday, so stroll on over to the flea market while you get down there. There's a couple good thrift shops and all that. There is an admission cost. It's $7 for adults, seniors are $6, and kids under the age of 10 are $5. Let me take a quick break for time. All right, and a quick note from our sponsor. Don't forget, folks, we do have a Wednesday Night JokeNet Facebook page. For those of you who have it, please join up over there, like, share. Also, check out the Wednesday Night JokeNet YouTube channel, just in case you guys miss it. I usually try and get that stuff up before Friday morning. I know sometimes that's when I get it up there, but I do try and keep up with it. The nets are always posted up there, so if you miss something, you can go back and check it out. And I appreciate the YouTube listeners that we have. We have about 11 regulars over there, so that's a good thing. All right, one more announcement, and then we'll get into why everybody's here. All right, every week I change the opening of this net. The greeting includes a catchphrase, and it refers to a movie or TV show or podcast or radio program that used to be and or is in existence. Each week that reference changes. Everybody gets a chance to guess during the check-ins and or anytime during the net. I will only repeat it, say it once, and if you don't catch it, sorry for that. There is a prize involved. Frank, K8ZHH, he won last month's prize, and that prize is 2024 JokeNet coffee mug, and that goes out courtesy of me right here, and we appreciate Joe, K8DNF, for making those for us. He does a great job with that. All right, that's the last announcement I have. If anybody does have anything they want sent announced on the net, please give me a holler at any one of the means available to you. My phone number through Facebook Messenger, email. You can email me at ke8pvl@yahoo, and I'll probably get that there. And I'll take joke submissions too, so there you go. All right, that puts me down at the bottom of my announcements. Let me get a quick break here, and we'll get into why everybody's really here. All right, this is K8PVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet, and we'll get into everybody's comment round. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. It's a kind of a rainy, dreary night, but I'm glad we've got a good group turning out. Let's start at the top of the list with Jeff, KC8LAR. Good to have you with us tonight, and what do you got for us this evening?
Good evening, Nemo. Everyone else on the net. Not a whole lot. Sit back. Decided to check my WinLink inbox, and lo and behold, there was actually one in there. So, score to Mike, if he's out there listening. I replied. Usually I try to check it at least once a week, whether I feel like it or not, but apparently I was slacking. So, other than that, not a whole lot going on. Getting ready to make some modifications to the shack, so hopefully things will run a little bit smoother, but other than that, just doing a little light cleaning, and that's all we got going on in the world of Jeff. So with that, we'll say back to net control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, Jeff. Yep, I'm right there with you on the shack upgrading thing. I'm working on that myself, and hopefully I'll have this a little bit better. My desk became a catch-all for a little while there, and I hate to admit that, but it has, and I'm trying to fix it. So there you go. And next on the list, we'll go down the list here to Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet. Wayne, good to have you with us tonight, man. What do you got for us?
I don't know if everybody knows, but I had this little antenna on top of my car. It was kind of a Tesla coil, and they weren't cheap. Spent a lot of money for it. Didn't didn't really work too well. Have it in the house right now. I'm actually talking on it right now. I can hear the repeater and hear everybody clearly, but a lot of static on this antenna. I'm not happy with it. It's so bad, I'm actually going to retire it tonight and head over, probably drive out tomorrow morning to DX Engineering and go get myself another antenna for just sitting around the house with. I still have my other antenna that I use when I'm trying to talk long distance, but I want something when I'm talking on the porch here. Other than that, just been winding down at my job and gonna take it easy rest of the till fall. Charlie, Yankee Juliet.
All right, very good. Well, just so that you know, the input on that might not be so great, but you're fine coming into the repeater. Just letting you know there, your signal is nice and strong and you're completely readable. All right, next on the list we've got Dan, N8DRL. How you doing, man? What do you got for us?
We're doing good. Getting some things done in the shack. Kind of rearrange a little bit, make it a little more user-friendly. I get my new brace tomorrow morning, 9:30. So I'll be able to walk a lot easier and better with the new brace. It's actually fitted for my leg. And they took a casting of my leg so they can make it. It's been 3 weeks since they casted it. So I'm going to turn it back to net control, N8DRL.
All right, roger that. Well, I'm glad your leg's getting better, man. You've been out of it for a long time, and just even getting into your ham shack has been a thing for you, and I know that. And $6 million, man, that's a TV show, obviously, but they're going to have that just on one leg with you by the time they're done, I swear. All right, next on the list, we've got Jim, K8LFR. Thanks for dragging yourself out from under a car and joining us tonight, man. What do you got for us this evening?
Evening, everybody on the net. I didn't drag myself out this time, Nemo. This is the off weekend, so not much going on here. Just spent the other day because it was nice out, working in the yard, and got the garage ready to go, got the car ready to go, the motorcycle ready to go. That's about all I did. Just get stuff ready for summer. Can't wait. Okay, back to net.
Yeah, roger that on the summertime, man. We had a nice taste of that with the 70-degree weather the last couple of days, and it looks like we've taken a turn. We'll have to listen to Frank in a few minutes here to tell us just how bad it's going to get. All right, next on the list, we've got Doug, K8TBX. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend, and what do you got for us this evening?
Good evening, Nemo. Good evening, everyone else. Yeah, there is an awful lot of static on my end. I switched over to, I've got a Hale Pro 7 set of headphones, and they are, they're a wonderful set of headphones. I put them on, and I can actually hear you guys a little bit better, even through all the static. The other thing I wanted to bring up is I've got a VTech. UV50X2 is my, used to be my mobile and my base. Now it's my base. And it monitors 4 channels. The problem with that is if you got noise in one channel, it won't unlock. And I had a heck of a hard time on Monday listening to the Aries net because it kept wanting to go back to the noisy channel. I figured out a way to lock it into one channel. Anyway, K8 TBX, back to net.
All right, well, Doug, appreciate you being here, and I always say I'll try and pull you out of the weeds if I can hear you a little bit. I'll drag you up with us and relay whatever it is you've said. The particular radio that you're talking about, I don't have any real experience with, but you're coming through okay, and everybody else is sounding clean. So maybe it's something on the receive side. We might have to take a look at that for you sometime in the future there. All right, next on the list, we've got Jerry. Good to have you with us tonight, man. Missed you last week. And 3, EVT. What do you got for us?
Good evening, Well, I was pleased to hear your announcement about the Hamfest as I was in the shack today for a few minutes looking around and realized that if you're in this hobby for decades, you have way too many radios. So a good Hamfest might be an opportunity for me to kind of trim down. So looking forward to that. Back to net control and 3EVT.
All right, K8 PVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. Yes, man, it seems to be a signature event over here now, and really looking forward to it. And hopefully we can, with the volunteer base that we've been having, I think everything's been going great with it, and really, really looking forward to it this year. I even have a few things I think I'm going to toss out there myself just to see what happens. And maybe I'll actually have some money to pick something up with this year if I can get the time. All right, next on the list is we've got Ruth Ann. Good to have you with us tonight, my friend. KE8 ZVO, what do you got for us?
Oh, nothing too much yet. Did a little bit of gardening this week, cleaning up last year's leftover weeds. Otherwise, just waiting for it to be real spring. KE8 ZVO, back to next.
I feel you on the garden thing. You know, I've got a garden that's a year overgrown because I didn't do nothing with it last year. I got to kind of rip it up and start over. I'm hoping my neighbor's going to be able to come down and plow it over for me because I was kicking myself all last summer for not putting a garden in. And, man, I want a garden. I need to do it. It's work, and I know it is, but I got to get it in there. All right. That's, except for Frank. Hold on a minute there, Frank. That's the bottom of the list as I have it. Before I bring in Frank, is there anybody else who wants to check in? Please call KE8 PVL. All right, nothing heard. I'm going to turn it over to Frank the Weatherman. KE8 ZHH, take it away.
All right, thank you, Nemo. This is Frank, the weather guy, KE8 ZHH. Current weather conditions in Pierpont Township are 41 degrees with 99% humidity, and the barometric pressure is at 28.96 inches and is rising. Wind is out of the north at 14 miles per hour. Today's high was at 47 degrees and low was at 41 degrees. For tomorrow, expect partly cloudy skies with highs around 55 and a low of 43 with partly cloudy nighttime skies. We have good news and bad news. First, good news. I did the rain dance backwards today, so expect no precipitation for the next 2 days. And now for the bad news. Looks like rain for the weekend. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. Record high for today in weather history stands at 74 degrees in 1973, and the record low is -1 in 1960. Sunrise will be at 6:47 a.m. Sunset will be at 6:21 p.m. And now for some weather trivia. Ohio ranks 9th in the nation for fatal crashes during bad weather. Studies show 1 in 7 deadly crashes on Ohio roads happen during severe weather. So please slow down and use extreme caution when bad weather strikes while driving. And finally, the weather joke of the week. What is the wind's favorite color? What is the wind's favorite color? Blue. blue. I know that's kind of corny, but that was actually a weatherman's actual joke. It was aired on TV, so I kind of stole that one. All right, back to Nemo and net control. Thank you very much for listening.
All right, Frank, thank you for the weather forecast, and great job to you. Let me just take a quick break here. This is KE8PVL with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. Before I go any further, is there anybody else that wants to check in? Please call. All right, nothing heard there. So, as many of you guys know, we'll go into the discussion round. I've been taking serious the last couple of weeks studying for my general upgrade, and I'm not quite there yet. I haven't actually taken a real practice test yet, but I'm starting to get pretty solid on it, at least as far as I can tell. But the one video course that I've been watching, listening to, whatever, while I'm at work, I sent that to somebody else, and I said, hey, check this course out. And they were like, no, it's too slow. And then as I'm watching, listening to it, whatever, the information was all there, but what I found was they had a bunch of side information that I found very valuable. And then I started thinking, man, what is it that I didn't know? And is there a thing that became really valuable, a piece of information that you didn't know before you were a ham, that you know now that has become really valuable to you? So, and I could think of quite a few things, but I figure I'd go down the list and we could talk a little bit about those things. I'm sure everybody's got their own experience with that. I feel bad for the person who I sent that video to, because there was so much good stuff in there that I didn't know, that I'm suddenly like, oh, I wish I'd have known that. I wish I'd have known that. Just about the hobby in general and things that are out there. And that person's never going to know it, because they're not going to watch those videos because they thought it was too slow. Anyway, that's just my soapboxing on that. Jeff, KC8, LAR, good to have you with us tonight, sir, again. And something that you didn't know before you were a ham that you know now that's become really useful to you.
Oh, that's a good question, Emo. Well, I think that I don't know about any one thing in particular, but I know I've become more tolerant of people's views, and I've learned to be more patient. I learn new things every day. That's what makes it worth getting out of bed for me. So, one particular thing, no, I couldn't nail it down, but definitely patience, especially when dealing with other people, because not everybody learns the same. And I've heard that as well, that something's too slow or it's too fast. And my main takeaway is you have to be tolerant and figure out what works for them, because something else may work differently for you. So that's what I got out of that. And with that, we'll pass it back to that control. This is KC8LAR.
All right, more tolerance. That's actually a good one, and something that is kind of a requirement in what we do here. And I'm right there with you. Everybody learns different, because I was running the flashcard movie videos over and over again, and then I started, and I actually almost gave up on that classroom lecture one, but I said, you know what? I got plenty of time. I'm not in a rush. I'll just listen to them anyway. And then after about the third video in, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to finish listening to these. Anyway, that's just on me. Wayne, Alpha Charlie 8, Yankee Juliet, good to have you with us tonight. How about you, my friend? Something you've learned in amateur radio that you didn't know before?
I think I've learned how much ham radio has impacted our modern world. especially when it comes to your cell phone.
All right, roger that. How much it's impacted the modern world. People don't realize, and you're right, people don't realize just how much of what we do on a day-to-day basis is completely based on what we do as amateur radio operators. Just all over the place, and because it's all radio. All right, Dan, N8DRL, good to have you with us tonight again. Thank you, sir, for being here. Something you've learned in amateur radio that you didn't know before that's become really valuable to you.
I'm on the phone, guys. Check me out, N8DRL.
All right, copy that, Dan. I'll make sure that we put you down here as secured station. Thank you for joining us again tonight, man. Jim, K8LFR, how about you, man? Something about amateur radio that you've learned that you didn't know before that's become really valuable to you.
Well, I have to pick the same side of the fence that Jeff did. It's really kind of hard to nail down any particular thing, because even studying for the test, what little bit I did study, I learned a lot of things that, I thought I knew, but I didn't 100% know. So it taught me a lot there. The one thing I can say for sure is, man, it's expensive. That's about it. Back to that.
Well, I understand the expense side of that for sure, and hobbies can be as expensive as you make them, and although there is, I think, almost a minimum here, you got to get a halfway decent radio in your shack, or you're not going to get too much done. All right, next on the list, we've got Doug, K8TBX. Good to have you with us, my friend. Hopefully you're hearing us okay. And how about you? Something in amateur radio that you didn't know before that's become really useful to you?
I guess I'd have to say Aries, and along with that is the community support, how well ham radio operators support their community. I don't think the community out there actually realizes just how much ham radio operators support their community. K8TBX.
Yeah, roger that. Community support's a big part of it. I know back when I was doing 11 meter stuff, that was sort of part of doing 11 meters was, you see somebody broken down on the side of the road, you stop to see if they needed help. See if you could get a tow truck over there, because you were the ones who could call them. And very, very similar stuff going on in amateur radio as far as all of that goes with Aries and racies and even just driving around. If I see somebody, I'll still stop to this day a lot of times. All right, next on the list, we've got Jerry, N3EVT. Thank you again for being here tonight, my friend. I really appreciate you being here. Something you've learned about amateur radio that you didn't know before and has become really valuable to you.
Well, Nemo, I came into the hobby differently than many of the folks. I never had any experience on 11 meters because I started when I was 11, which was some time ago, and built a Heathkit receiver and started to listen to shortwave. And every time I found a new country, a new station, I'd go to a map and find out where they were. And so if you were to ask me where Norfolk Island is, or Iwo Jima, or Robinson Crusoe Island, or Albania, or Yemen, because of shortwave listening, I could go to a map today and instantly put my finger on it. So the thing that I gained was an understanding and appreciation of geography of this earth. Back to net control, N3VT.
All right, very good. Geography, absolutely. And I know where many of those countries that you just mentioned are, but not from ham radio, but absolutely. Geography, it does help. And, along those lines, I can't imagine these flat earther guys not understanding that the earth is round after getting an amateur radio license. And I see a bunch of that going on, and I'm like, don't you understand how things work? Anyway, that's just my own soapbox on that end. But yeah, definitely geography. Next on the list, we've got Ruth Ann. I know you're new to the group and to amateur radio, but something you've learned since being in amateur radio that's become valuable to you.
For sure, everything was new, but I have to say the world of antennas is just a marvel, and I'm understanding it more and more, and looking forward to. I actually have two styles in mind now, so I'm kind of tickled. And one of the things I had fun with in the first level, in tech level, was the crazy names for ohms and resistance and whatever, and the initials don't match, and I was making all these crazy things up so I could memorize them. I better break. So anyway, I'm happy to be part of the world of radio. I'm enjoying it. Back to net, KE8VVO.
All right, very good. And well, we enjoy having you out there with us, and appreciate you being here every Wednesday night that you're here. We know you got the Rose Club meeting thing that you do also, and don't stop doing that just because we're here. But appreciate you coming in on the net every Wednesday like you do. All right, next on the list we've got K8ZHH. Frank, great to have you with us tonight. And how about you, man? Something you've learned in amateur radio that's become really valuable to you?
Well, CB or ham radio, kind of just got involved in it because of my brother, Ray, and found it fascinating from when it first started. Marconi, I think, is his name, the Italian fella, and what it has become. And I'm really fascinated by antennas and how each radio is different from another radio, and they're not the same. There's no perfect radio, and programming is pretty neat, I think. And yeah, I'm gonna start building my own wire and fed half-wave antennas, and there's just so much to learn in it. You'll never be an expert, and yeah, it's really a neat hobby. That's what I find about it. I love it. And with that, back to net control. This is K8ZHH.
All right, Frank. Yep, antenna theory is definitely awesome. There's a lot of stuff on that out there. And, I could agree with you. We've... the one video I've been watching, the guy says, you got a license to learn. That's what it is. It's just like a driver's license. When you get your driver's license or anything else, that means you've passed the bare minimum to get out there and go do it. And the learning never stops. And that goes no matter how long you've been in it, or, maybe it's a little less learning that you got but to go, but you've still got learning, even if you've been around for a long time. All right, that puts me at the bottom of the list. Before I put a bow on it, is there anybody else who wants to check in or recheck? Please call K8PVO with the Wednesday Night JokeNet. All right, I'll go ahead and put a bow on it. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. If you are listening on Scanner, please consider getting your technician license so that you can join us. Or, if not, that's okay too. We still appreciate you being here. If you're listening on YouTube, also, please consider getting your license. Contact somebody off of this list, off of this net, and we'll make sure you get pointed in the right direction. I'd also like to thank Tom, NHCT, for the use of this repeater. Tom, if you're listening, I hope you're doing better. I know you were sick there for a little while, and I know you're back home, but hopefully you're bounced back and everything's going good for you. Thank everybody currently serving and retired from service to this country. Your sacrifices will not be forgotten. This is K8PVL. I'm going to return the repeater back over to normal amateur radio use, whatever that might be. Be good to each other, everybody. K8PVL, I'm going to be clear with the exception of one thing. KE8ZVO, are you still around?
Yes, I'm here.